Imagine a contest where there's only one real rule: keep walking. If you slow down, you get a warning. Get 3 warnings and you get a bullet. This is the simple yet terrifying reality of The Long Walk, and it just might be the most brutal movie of 2025. Before we get into the soul-crushing horror of it all, let's lay down the ground rules, because in the world of The Long Walk, the rules are everything. The film, brought to us by director Francis Lawrence, is based on the 1979 novel that Stephen King wrote. This story was once considered unfilmable, but it has finally hit the big screen and it absolutely does not pull its punches. As I said earlier, the premise is very simple, which only makes it more horrifying. In a dystopian alternate America, 50 teenage boys are chosen for an annual event called The Long Walk. One boy from each state. The event is a nationally televised structure. The rules are broadcast with a chilling, casual simplicity. Contestants must maintain a walking speed of at least 3 miles per hour. They are not allowed to stop. If their pace drops for more than 30 seconds, they get a verbal warning. A second time, a second warning. A third warning, though, means you get ticketed. A clean, neat euphemism for being shot on the spot by the soldiers escorting the march. There is no finish line. The walk only ends when one boy is left standing. That lone survivor, the winner, receives the prize, which is basically a fortune and anything else that they desire for the rest of their life. For everybody else, there's just this side of the road. Now, this story unfolds through the eyes of Raymond Garrity, played by Cooper Hoffman, a seemingly normal kid we meet as he shares a heartbreaking goodbye with his mother at the start of the movie. Now, through Ray, we meet the other walkers. There's Peter McVees, played by David Johnson, a cynical but deeply caring boy who forms a quick bond with Garrity. We meet a whole cast of other boys who create, a fragile temporal society of this endless road. Now, what director Francis Lawrence captures so masterfully, even in the film's opening, is that the real horror isn't just the threat of the bullet. It's the slow, creeping dread, the monotony, the knowledge that every single step is taking you closer to either an impossible prize or an inevitable death. This film makes you ask a terrifying question before the first ticket is even handed out. What would it take for your body and your mind to finally give up? This isn't a film about monsters or ghosts, it's about the erosion of the human spirit, and one grueling step at a time. Okay, consider this your final warning, because from here on out, I am going to be heading into full spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen The Long Walk yet, now is your chance to turn back. So, what lifts The Long Walk from a grim survival story into a real contender for the most brutal film of the year? The answer isn't the body count, it's the layers of the psychological horror. Firstly, let's talk about the central theme, the illusion of choice when you're trapped in a oppressive system. This story makes it painfully clear and obvious that these 50 boys aren't volunteers in any real sense. They're just products of a broken society where the walk is sold as a golden ticket out of poverty and despair. For many, it's the only option that they can see. The regime masterfully frames the walk as an act of patriotic ambition. But it's all a lie. The game is rigged. The prize is a mirage designed to give the desperate just enough hope to participate in a system that feeds on their suffering. Call it a propaganda tool that proves that the state's power by showing it can turn its own children into a blood sport, and the public will eat it up. This leads us nicely onto the second layer of the brutality, the spectacle of the suffering. The Long Walk is a savage critique of how we watch violence. The walkers aren't just flanked by soldiers, they're surrounded by cheering crowds, people lining up on the roads with picnic baskets to watch, and then signs on people betting on their favourite on who is going to win, just like a football match. It suggests that the most disturbing monster isn't the government, but it is the society. humanity that eagerly consumes the cruelty. And yet, it's inside this profoundly dehumanizing context that the film finds its most powerful moments of humanity. This is the third critical point here now, finding dignity in the face of death. As the miles grind on and the walkers start to dwindle, profound bonds are forged. I mean, you got the friendship between Garrity and McVrees, becoming the story's emotional anchor. They share stories throughout the film and they literally hold each other up, and they offer comfort when there is none to be had. In one of the story's most famous moments, the walkers band together to carry a boy who is breaking down. A futile but beautiful act of rebellion against the rules. It's moments like these, moments of the grace, of care, of love in the face of certain death, is what makes the violence so much more devastating when it actually happens. Ray Garrity, in my opinion, is the perfect protagonist for this nightmare because he's just a normal, complete guy. He's not a superhero. He's just a kid who thought that he could win at something. And his journey is a slow, painful stripping away of hope that we foresee throughout the movie. I mean, Cooper Hoffman's performance captures this perfectly, moving from youthful optimism to hollowed out trauma. And of course, Peter McVrees is the cynic who, he's already accepted his fate, but he also finds a reason in this film to keep going in his friendship with Garrity. His tragedy is that he rediscovers hope, which only makes his end more painful. The whole journey of this walk in this film is just a slow descent into hell, and the ending is just a plunge into the abyss. The final moments of the long walk are among some of the most haunting in modern cinema, cementing the film's status as a truly brutal piece of art. Now, some people were confused by the ending, which I'm not going to spoil for you guys on here right now, but the ending is open to your own interpretation, and I will be completely open and honest with you guys. I cried about 3, maybe 4 times throughout this movie, especially in that final half hour. Now, as the number of the walkers shrinks to just maybe a handful, the psychological toll becomes unbearable. And the film, it doesn't shy away from this this agonizing reality of death. The walk has stripped all of these boys of everything apart from their primal instinct to survive. Yet their bonds remain, creating this impossible conflict in their just exhausted minds. Now, during the climax, when it arrives, there's only 2 walkers that are left. You got our protagonist, Ray Garrity, and one, final competitor. And they are just feet away from an imaginary finish line. A point that's only decided by the death of the 49th boy, surrounded by a roaring crowd, hungry for a winner. It is a moment of sheer heartbreaking inevitability, and the second to last boy is executed. The crowd erupts, the winner is declared, but there is no victory here whatsoever, and it is an absolute heartbreaking scene to watch. The ending is a masterful take on the novel's famously debated conclusion. As I said, it does leave things open to interpretation, so yeah, let me know in the comments box below how you interpreted the movie's ending. So does this film earn the title of the most brutal movie of 2025? Well, its brutality isn't measured in jump scares or buckets of gore. It's a far more insidious, disturbing kind of horror. It's the brutality of the hopelessness, it's the psychological agony of the death march, and, with no end in sight, well, what can you do is just wait for your own body or your own mind to portray you. While other horror films might shock you for a moment, The Long Walk burrows into your psyche and stays there. The image of the boys walking endlessly, talking about their dreams 1 minute and being casually executed the next, is profoundly unsettling. The film's minimalist approach, stripping away everything to focus on the raw human experience of endurance, makes it feel terrifyingly real. The director, Francis Lawrence, proves here that, true horror doesn't need elaborate arenas or fancy weapons. Sometimes all it needs is a long road and the sound of footsteps slowly fading away. So, an answer to the question, is it the most brutal? Well, that is up for debate, but it makes the strongest case for a different definition of the word. This is a film that doesn't just want to scare you, it wants to indict you, and that is a level of brutality few films ever dare to attempt. For its unflinching psychological torment, its devastating social commentary, and an ending that offers zero cheers, The Long Walk isn't just a great Stephen King adaptation, it's a punishing, unforgettable, and deeply brutal cinematic experience that will walk with you long after the credits roll. I hope you like what I did there. Now, believe me guys, when I say this, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this movie since I watched it a few days ago, and that on its own should speak volumes. So guys, what do you think of Stephen King's The Long Walk? Is it a film that really stuck with you, or was it not really your cup of tea? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep dives into the darker side of cinema, make sure to subscribe for more. Okay then guys, we have reached the end of today's video, so thank you all for sticking around if you are still here. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in my next video.